Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming today. I am so happy to be able to have the opportunity to share something with you, something that I'm very passionate and care a lot about. So my name is Hannah. I am 23 years old and I love animals. Ever since I was talking to the snails and cats in our backyard when I was 4, I knew that I wanted to dedicate my life to spending time with and learning from and taking care of the planet's creatures. So that's why I applied myself with 110% effort into the traditional schooling system so that I could graduate from Mount Holyoke College, which I did this past year, with a degree in biology and Spanish, because I was determined to study the rainforests of Central and South America and help the world through conservation. But it wasn't long before, in college, I started to wonder if all of the stress and exhaustion that I was feeling that was burning me out was really getting me any closer to my dream. And that's when I hit a wall during sophomore year of college, when I realized that the traditional education system that I was a part of was leading me into a traditional employment situation where I would be spending the vast majority of my time in my life doing what I had to do to make money, not spending time out in nature. And that's not what I want. I realized that the level of freedom that I want and need in life is not possible on the path that most of us think is the only path to our dreams. And time and financial freedom are two things I'm not willing to live without anymore. So this was confusing because I didn't know what living outside the old system looked like. And it's during times like these that we are surrounded by inspiration. And inspiration like this amazing quote, which is from a movie, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, which is an excellent movie. You should see it if you haven't already. But this amazing quote, "To see the world, things dangerous to come to see behind walls, draw closer, to find each other, and to feel. That is the purpose of life." Now, what do most of us do when we read something amazing like this? A lot of the time we think, oh, that's great, but then we just keep on with our lives. We don't actually take it to heart. And why not? Why don't we really listen to it? And I think what we tell ourselves is that we don't have enough time or enough money. But what if you had enough money? And what if you felt like you had enough time to not only contemplate this quote, but then act on it? Well, then it's not just a life-changing quote anymore. It is you transforming your own life. And that's how I want to live. So 4 months ago, I made an extraordinary decision that altered the arc of my career and life. I became a networker and recruiter for an organic, non-GMO biotech company out of Asia called Alphay. And I've been tasked by this amazing company to help them expand, first here in the US, but then globally. And that's why I'm talking with you today. So over the next 20 minutes, I'm going to give you a brief overview of this company, the organic products that they make, and the wealth model that they offer to ordinary people like you and me. So we are looking for people like ourselves who are interested in radically improving their lifestyle. So if you are interested in creating wealth in the next few years, if you're not happy with working way too hard for the amount of money you make, if you want to join a team who's dedicated to your success day in and day out, and who's creating a worldwide network, all while working from our homes. And if you want more time, more money, more passion in life, then you are in the right place at the right presentation. I'm going to start with this idea of big life goals. A lot of people who come to this talk are really hungry for them. Things like living debt-free, being able to save up money so you can travel, or live in another country for a few months to learn the language. Whatever it is, these big life goals that you have in life, things you really want to accomplish in life. Well, what we've seen is that there's a list of similar things that people want on their path to accomplish these goals. And we've compiled this list. Let's see if it resonates with you. First of all, you want your time back. All of it, 24/7, 365 days a year. You don't want to be chained to your private practice or boss's schedule. You want to decide when you work and where on the planet you do your work from. If you have kids or plan to have kids someday, you don't want to have to put them in daycare in order to trade your time for a fixed amount of money. You want to work part-time, say for 6 hours a week on something that as you build it, it continues to grow year after year, and the income continues to grow. What I'm talking about is something called residual income, which I'll get back to in a minute. You want a team who is dedicated to you all the time, a team who you can work with every day and every week. Because a lot of us know, a lot of us coming out of college, in college, or who've been in the workforce for years, we know how lonely, sad, and ultimately ineffective working for hours on end by yourself at the computer can be. You want to plan a daily, weekly, monthly structure that gets you from $0 a week to $5,000, $10,000 a week, because none of us can make it in anything, whether that be business or life, without a basic roadmap that gets us from point A to point B and to all the points afterwards. And to me, this is the most important aspect. The most important part of this path is you want something that is meaningful. You want something that is bigger than just you and your bank account. You want something that helps and inspires other people, that is good for the planet and has an ecological mindset. And you want something that's inexpensive to start and inexpensive to run. If you can't start this new enterprise for a few $100s and recoup that back quickly, even within the first few weeks, then you're not interested. You want to be able to work from anywhere, from your home, your tent, a camper van, the next airport lounge you're passing through, a beach in Tahiti, anywhere on the planet. Zero overhead. You don't want to have to deal with buying space and renting it out with employees, lots of paperwork and equipment other than your laptop and a Wi-Fi connection. You want something international, something that gives you the ability to be earning money and touching lives far beyond your local town. So that's the list. And here's what we see, that others want these things too. And the reason why is because people intuitively understand that even if they don't know how this list is possible, that it is possible. And in large part thanks to the internet and the technological age that we're living in. And yet look around you. So many people are looking for traditional jobs on job postings on sites like Craigslist, LinkedIn.com, which are great sites. But really what people are looking for is just another job, just another linear income job. And they do this because it's what they've been doing since their first newspaper or babysitting job, because they believe it's the only model out there. It's what their friends do, it's what their parents did, and it's what they were taught in college. And the truth is, most of us need to make an income, but there comes a time when you do the math and you add up the amount of hours that you can physically work in a week, and you realize that the linear income job model was never designed to get us to our big life goals. Now, there's an important phrase out there called disruptive technology. It's this idea that when some technology comes about, it completely upends the old way of doing things. For example, tube monitors versus LCD screens. Big, huge TVs versus big flat screen TVs you can hang on your wall. Landlines versus cell phones. Fax machines versus PDFs you can attach to an email. Everything on this page versus one tiny smartphone. And the thing is that disruptive technology doesn't happen overnight, but once you yourself make the shift, the old way just seems so inefficient. And that's exactly what we have here. A linear income job is the least efficient way a human being can earn an income. You can't get any slower than trading your time for a fixed, agreed upon amount of money. And it's this lack of inefficiency that is preventing you from your big life goals. Now, some people may be in hourly rate heaven, dentists, doctors, veterinarians, but they are still only as good as their last hour they worked. Once they walk out the door, once they stop working, the money stops instantly. But for those of us who realize that we have big dreams of going to see beautiful places on this planet, of sailing for months at a time, at paying off our mortgage, at living 100% debt-free, we realize that we need another path, another financial platform to get us there. And fortunately, because we are alive in the midst of a technological revolution, it has never been easier to create our dream life thanks to the ability to create residual income. What is residual income? Well, it is the missing nutrient to the diet of your dreams. A lot of people who say that they don't have enough time to do this or that, what they're really saying is that they're missing residual income. Residual income means getting a check in the mail week after week, year after year, whether you're working or not. And this happens because you took the time to create a network of people, consumers, who continue to consume something long after it was first created. All residual income comes through sharing something that a network of people want to use over and over again. Residual income has been around forever. Some modern ways that it exists: you can write a book, write a song, buy property, and rent it out. But how do people like you and I create residual income? Well, there are some keys some key mindset shifts, some things you need to realize in order to do this. The first is to realize that this is not a pipe dream. This is the new reality of doing business. Those of us who are already creating residual income are no different than you. If we can do it, you certainly can do it too. The next is to stop thinking sales and start thinking networking. A lot of people say that they could never create residual income because they don't want to do sales. But that's great, because neither do I, and neither do those of us who are already creating residual income. What I'm talking about is networking, something we as human beings are naturals at. The third key is to get out of a standard distribution model way of thinking and get into a word-of-mouth distribution. Now, standard distribution looks like this. It's how you and I get most of our things. It's the product starts with the manufacturers, and they use the brokers, the wholesalers, the retailers to get it to us, the consumers. And this is a great system, and I'm glad it exists, but it does have one fatal flaw, and that is that you don't fit in here. All that you do is put your money and a lot of it into the system. You don't get anything. You don't get paid for the valuable choices you make as a consumer. What I'm talking about is word-of-mouth distribution, something you and I are already doing. We already know how to do it. A lot of people who think they could never be involved in distribution or marketing don't realize that you already are, and you have been since you were a child. If you have ever recommended a movie to someone, if you have ever read a book because someone suggested it, if you've ever forwarded a funny cat video, or really posted anything on social media like Facebook or Twitter, then you are already involved in word-of-mouth distribution. You're just not getting paid for it. You see it in careers as well. For instance, if you're a teacher, you're involved in the distribution of information. It can be confusing if you don't see the students handing you $20 as they walk out of the classroom, but make no mistake, your weekly salary comes to you because you are deeply involved in the distribution of information. If you're a receptionist, you're involved with the distribution of information and people. If you work at a bank, you're involved in the distribution of money and contracts. If you're involved in any healthcare field, doctor, chiropractor, veterinarian, you are involved session after session in the mental and physical health of your patients. You'd be hard-pressed to find a career in which you are not involved some way in distribution and networking. So we are realizing that our big life goals, our big life dreams really matter to us. And we need a new way to get us there, that the old model of the linear income job is just not enough. It's just not working to give us the leverage that we need to really achieve the life that we want. Now, a lot of us see this image and are not only sadly struck by it, but sadly resonate with it as well. The sad truth is that a lot of us coming out of college, or even those of us who've been out of college for years, are stuck with this debt that could cripple us for years to come. And this seems insurmountable, and definitely is. But fortunately now we have the power to change this. And the greatest thing about the opportunity that I'm about to share with you is that you don't have to drop everything you're doing to start it. This is something that you can start part-time, a few hours a week, in your spare time, right alongside your job or your career that you already have, your career that you love and have a passion and a calling for. And the good news is that for a lot of us, our career or our passion may not be earning us enough money to truly thrive or become financially free. But this opportunity can give you the support that you need to continue doing whatever it is that you want to do in life. And this opportunity is called Alphay. Alphay is a billion-dollar privately owned company based out of China. And that's where they have been growing for 40 years until now. Alphay is involved in what could be called the longevity business. They are the world's largest grower, producer, and manufacturer of a medicinal herb called Lingji. Now, if you've never heard of Lingji before, then you're in good company, because neither had most of us who have just started this. But if you do a quick Google search on the word Lingji, you're going to find not hundreds, but thousands of scientific articles where scientists are delving into just why and how this medicinal mushroom is so amazing for helping the human body. It helps our bodies with everything from allergies to regulating the immune system, improving skin, lung, digestive conditions, as well as helping us sleep better and have better mental focus. And what modern day science is just now confirming is what has been known for thousands of years in traditional Chinese medicine. And it is why Lingji has been known as the most revered herb in traditional Chinese medicine. And the good news is that Alphay is the world's biggest player in Lingji. They grow 75% of the world's supply of this medicinal herb, and the company is completely vertically integrated. They control everything from the nutrients that go into the soils that grow the mushrooms all the way up through the manufacturing end. And they have this huge campus in China where they have hosted multiple of the medicinal mushroom conferences that are held around the world every year. And they have over 70 top scientists who are on campus and leading the entire investigation as to how and why this herb is so amazing for our bodies, and also how to make it most bioavailable to us. Now, Alphay is beginning in the midst of what could be called a longevity movement. Everywhere you look, people are becoming deeply interested and involved in the connection between the nutrition that they're putting into their bodies and the outcome that it has on their health. And Alphay is perfectly timed for this movement. All of their products are 100% certified organic. They're all kosher, and they pass with flying colors all heavy metal and purity testings. Now, Alphay has been growing and expanding and succeeding and learning for over 40 years in China. And they've just now opened up offices here in North America in this past year. But in the next 5 years, they plan on reaching 25 other companies. And this is where you and I come in. This is precisely why this opportunity is so exciting for us, because they're not handing this job, they're not handing this opportunity off to big health food companies or big advertising agencies. They're handing it to ordinary people like you and I. Now imagine if Steve Jobs had come to you back in the 90s, back when he was selling stocks at around $12 a share, back before Apple had become one of the most successful companies in the world. Or imagine if Mark Zuckerberg had come to you with his opportunity back before 1 billion people had opened up their Facebook accounts. Well, that's how those of us involved in Alphay feel, that this is the biggest opportunity of our lifetime. Now, there's a few more keys to why we feel that Alphay is so amazing. For one, the timing. Although Lingji has been well known in Asia for thousands of years, it's very new to many of us in the Western world. But with Alphay and us, that's about to change. Another aspect is that Alphay is a billion-dollar, privately owned, completely debt-free company, which means that what you and I build now will last us the rest of our lives. And you're going to see that there's an almost frantic pace of clinical trials and scientific research going out, delving into just how and why Lingji has such a profound effect on the human system. Meaning this is a worldwide movement that isn't going away. It's going to continue to grow and expand whether you and I are involved or not. Another great thing about Alphay is that this company gives us the ability to earn residual income, the ability to earn income even as we're sleeping. And this opportunity is ground floor. Right now, it's starting with just this small band of us, but it is going to grow exponentially in the upcoming years all around the world. And you might think that this might not work for you because you don't know people in other countries, but you don't have to, because eventually someone in your network will. And when they get a hold of their contact or their friend in Australia or Brazil or Germany, suddenly you are video conferencing and earning commissions from hundreds or thousands of people all across the world. Another element to Alphay that is amazing is the teamwork. Because when you join Alphay, not only do you join the company and the person who introduced you to the company, but you join all of us. And we meet every day, every week, as often or as little as you need to succeed. And all of the trainings are free. All of them are done from your home with the power of video conferencing, and all of it is in your spare time. So I'm going to return to a slide and make clear how the business model works, because this was something that was difficult for me to grasp at first and took me a little while. So all of residual income comes through sharing something that a network of people want to use over and over again. It's really that simple. That's all it is. For an easier example, maybe one that's that's more accessible to us to understand, think about this movie that I recommended earlier. Imagine if I was a part of a network whose consumable product was this movie. If you decided to, after this presentation, watch this movie, then you would be the equivalent of a customer, and I would earn commission from your decision to try it out. But if you wanted to become a part of this network with me, then not only would you watch this movie over and over because you like it, but you would naturally share it with other people as well. And you would be earning commissions from all of them deciding to try it out or join you, and so would I. So we are realizing that this amazing opportunity that we have to make residual income is not a pipe dream anymore, that this is our new reality, that achieving our big life goals, our dreams, is really our new reality, and Alphay is giving us the ability to do this. Now, like careers, Alphay's particular way to success and to achieving your big life goals is not for everyone, but the health products are. If you have any long-standing health issues, then you want to try Lingji for 60 to 90 days. You want to see why these scientists are spending so much time and so much of their research money and their careers delving into this. Now, for those of you who have been inspired or interested at all by this talk, I'm super happy for you. Ask us questions. I'd love to hear from you. And for those of you who this might not be your cup of tea, that's great too. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share this with you. Have a wonderful day.